All right, everybody, what is going on? We finally got details last night for the new 9th anniversary Dokkan Battle Gogeta and BROLY. So these guys look pretty sick. I did already do calcs for them, and I posted them last night, so I'm a little late recording the actual video here. So if you guys are curious about the calcs, I had them up last night. But I figured I'd go ahead and do the explanation video now. I'll go ahead and tell you they are very, very, very good. So let's go ahead and go over here to Garesh's post. Let's read through it a little bit. I'll try to go fast because I'm sure most of you have read this by now. But in the event that you don't follow Garesh or you missed the translations last night, I figured I'd give it to you in audio form. So anyway, here we go. This is Super Saiyan Gogeta and then Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. Leader skill is, remember, this guy is a Carnival LR. So he only has the flat 200% leader skill, which is Movie Heroes Key 3, 200% to stats. Movie Heroes, as we know at this point, is a very competent category. So yeah, I mean, Movie Heroes, if we just go ahead and pull that up, it's looking pretty good, right? So the 7th anniversary LRs are about 1 year away from EZAing on JP at this point, so that's pretty crazy. This Piccolo is still pretty solid. This Gogeta can be okay. Of course, we just got the New Year's Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Again, this is all on JP, by the way. If you're on Global, see you in July with me. So, but yeah, we got this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who's very good. This guy kind of sucks. But then, I mean, even still, right? We just got these guys who are great on Movie Heroes team. Orange Piccolo's really good. Tech Carnival Goku can still be okay. We'll see how he does in these new fights. Blue Gogeta, outside of AoE fights, can still be pretty decent. He can be okay in some AoE fights, but yeah, he's still pretty good. Of course, God Goku is very solid. God Goku having like one of the best link sets in the game, having shocking speed prepared for battle and over in a flash. So he can help really glue a lot of these fusions and then like normal Saiyans together. So that's really nice. Kid Goku still has some usage. We can go through here, but Movie Heroes is still like a pretty solid category. But like worst case scenario, you just run them like on this guy's team, right? And running 2 of these guys is pretty smooth. So, but yeah, Movie Heroes is definitely a solid team, and I would expect more buffs for it as the year goes on. Okay, so his 12 key super attack is the meteor attack, greatly raises attack and defense. That's a 50% raise for 1 turn. And then his 18 key raises defense. That's an infinite stack. And then he greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. This guy's going to be pretty similar to like kind of physical Trunks, where like these stacks really aren't going to play a huge, it's not really going to have like a huge impact on him. But it'll just nice to to have the extra defense, right? Like it'll help him kind of once he transforms a little bit. His passive skill here, Gogeta's Radiant Light, Key 2, 154% at the start of turn. He's super effective against all types. He gets an additional 100% when performing a super attack. He guards for 3 turns. Note that this means that if you keep him on rotation, he will guard for 2 turns. If you float him, he will only guard for 1 turn. That's how this will work. Kind of like Orange Piccolo and Ultimate Gohan. He gets an additional 1 key when collecting key spheres. He gets an additional 2 key when collecting rainbow key spheres. This is very, very nice. He changes a random type of key sphere other than physical to rainbow key spheres. Again, this is very good. Performs an additional attack that's a great chance of becoming a super attack. And perform an additional super attack when collecting 1 or more rainbow key spheres. So, obviously, passive here is very good. This guy's going to be very key sufficient. It's not like his stats aren't really jumping off the page here in his Super Saiyan form. But we can go ahead and, well, let's read through this and we'll do it. His active skill condition can be used after 4 more turns have elapsed from first appearance. Now, notice that this isn't from the start of battle. So the way this will work is if you get him on turn 1, you can transform on turn 4. But if you keep him on rotation, you won't be able to transform until turn 5. If you get him on turn 2, you will be able to transform on turn, 5? Basically, like, if you get them on their first rotation, if you float them, they'll be able to transform on their next rotation that they appear. But if you keep them on rotation, then it'll be 3 rotations before they can transform. That'll be the way that works. So kind of, to me, the way to use them is to just float them on turn 1, and then whenever they come back, you'll be able to transform. But if you want to keep them on rotation, you can. It'll basically be just like the 5th anniversary Blue Fusions. I think they have the exact same transformation condition. I can check really quickly. Let's see, we got Movie Heroes, Gogeta, transforms when conditions are met. I think this is the same. because, or no, well, no, I'm sorry. So their start of battle, if you get them, like they just transform from turn 4 beyond. So it is slightly different than this. So never mind. It is different. But yeah, so if you get them on turn 1, they can transform on turn 4. If you float them, 2, they can transform on turn 5 if you float them. If you get them in slot 7, so on turn 3, then they can transform on turn 6 if you float them. So that's kind of the way that'll work. Otherwise, just add 1 turn to that, and then that's whenever they can transform. So, let's see, where were we? Link said his Golden Warrior Super Saiyan over in a flash, prepared for battle, fuse, fight a fierce battle, legendary power. I mean, this was pretty expected. This is like exactly what everybody thought it would be. Again, the combo of over in a flash and prepared for battle would really, 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 really help this guy, which is nice. Categories, I mean, those are his categories right there. He's basically going to have the exact same categories as the, as like this guy, and in particular, this guy right here. So these will be his 200% leaders. And then including himself, of course. So you'll be able to get a lot of usage out of this guy. That's going to be really good. Once he transforms into Super Saiyan God, his 12 key is the God Meteor Strike, 50% attack and defense raise for 1 turn. And then 18 key is the Exceed Blazer. Massively raises attack for 4 turns and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. Obviously, like, this guy's going to be hitting hard. He's going to be hitting real hard, I'll let you know that right now. His passive skill, he gets 54% HP at the start of this character's attacking turn for 4 turns from first appearance. This is going to be kind of crazy. Like, if you're running this guy's team, I mean, even if you're not running this guy's team, you'll basically be able to get 2 turns of 54% HP healing. So let's say, hypothetically, you're running the Gogeta Blue team, right? And you transform with one of them on turn 4. You're going to get that 54% HP healing. And then let's say on the next rotation you have another one, right? And you transform with him, you're going to get 54% HP healing. And then if you don't kill the boss, you're going to go back to that first rotation, and you're going to get the healing again. And then if you don't kill him there, you're going to go back to the second rotation and get another turn. So you can basically chain 4 turns of 54% HP healing in a row. That's going to actually be like a huge game changer for a lot of teams. It does kind of mess with his synergy with this unit right here, but I wouldn't worry about that too much because this unit can get bent personally. Anyway, so key 3 and 200% at the start of turn. Very nice. Attacks effective against all types. Gain an additional 100% when performing a super attack. Additional 2 key when collecting key spheres. Changes a random type of key sphere other than physical to rainbow. Performs an additional super attack. Oh, hang on. It's rainbow key spheres. Perform an additional super attack, and perform an additional super attack when collecting 1 or more rainbow key spheres. Wait, what? So perform an additional super attack, and perform another additional super attack when collecting 1 or more key spheres. Okay, so like this one, I guess, is guaranteed, and then he gets the second one if you collect a rainbow key sphere. That's crazy. Great chance to dodge enemy attacks, and chance to perform a critical hit plus 10% per attack evaded. That's going to be really crazy. Great chance to nullify key-based super attacks and counter with tremendous power. Yeah, this guy is going to be crazy, by the way. This guy, well, I mean, this is going to be like turn 4 before you can see this guy, but, so I was going to say he's going to be like a, merge Zamasu killer, right? But you're probably not going to be up against the int phase anymore for your, like, to be able to even do this. But it doesn't matter. Like, Gogeta Blue is going to be crazy. Super Saiyan Gogeta, he might be able to get caught, but his defense is still solid. And then his active skill down here, how much can you keep up with me? This is the new, you have become the enemy target mechanic. So you can use this starting from the character's next attacking turn. So if you transform on turn 4, you'll be able to use this on turn 6. Kind of unfortunate, but, I mean, it is what it is. Temporarily massively raises attack for 1 turn, causes ultimate damage, redirects all enemy attacks this character for 1 turn, and guaranteed to dodge. And then also Golden Warrior up here becomes Warrior Gods. So real quick, I do want to talk about this for just a second before we look at the calcs. That's going to be an extremely valuable ability, but guys, I do want to have the conversation now that 1, this guy is doing a ton of damage, and 2, fights right now aren't really getting to turn 6. They are. Some of them are. But I feel like turn 6 is where we're typically wrapping up. Now, that's not to say that this isn't going to be a useful ability. A lot of people are going to get use out of this, but, like right now, what's really hard? Like, what does everybody in the community complain about? What is it? It's Fusion Zamasu's turn 1 AoE normal. This doesn't help you with that. And that's like where we need the most help. So I will be interested to see how much use people get out of this in game and how this plays into the new fights. Now, what I would also like to mention is that Dokkan knows this, and Dokkan is going to design fights around selling these characters. That's always what they do. The Future Saga Red Zone is designed around selling that Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. Even though you can't always fuse with them, they're still really good in those fights because, they're short and they can dodge and guard for the first couple turns, right? So, like, they're designed for that. Fusion Zamasu, same thing. It's like he's got really high damage reduction for the first couple of turns, so he's really good for those fights. If we think back to the worldwide download celebration, right? 2 years ago, we had the Tech Carnival Goku, who was really good for all of the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone fights. And then we also had Cooler. Cooler was really good for the Metal Cooler Core, right? Ultimate Gohan was really good for the Tech Cell Max fight. Orange Piccolo was pretty good for the Gammas. Like these fights were all designed around these hard characters. I'm sorry, yeah, Tanabata this year, we had the Omega fight who cancels dodge in his first turn so that it's easier to get the build up for the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? So, I'm just saying, like, expect fights that feature these guys well. That's what I would say about these guys. So, anyway. Let's go ahead and take a look at CALCS here. So, real quick, let me do this. There we go. So here we go. This is 9th anniversary Gogeta. Up here is the Super Saiyan form, and you guys should know kind of at the point, like if you're new here, hello. But if you guys have been around for a while, the way I like to do things, I put no support, like this left side is no support. This right side is just with a flat 40% support. I could go crazy and do like a bunch of different supports, or I could do like Bulma's 37%, but I just settled on doing an average of 40. If you don't like it, you can just change the calc yourself and figure it out. That's kind of why I show you guys the steps. So anyway, his defense stat is right here. So 11,144 is his base stat. If we go back over here, you can see 11,144. We add 4,600 to that because he's physical. And then over here, we're adding 2,000. Oh, excuse me. Leader skill, we multiply by 5. For the 200% leader. Links, all I did was prepared for battle. I could have added Fused Fighter into this, which I think is another 5%, so I could have done like 1.1. But I just didn't do that, so. You can change that if you want, but I don't think you're going to have Fused Fighter active too often. I think there's going to be a lot of situations where you're running this guy just next to like God Goku or Super Saiyan 3 Goku who don't have Fused Fighter, so I just didn't include it here. I mean, you could technically get it active with somebody, but I just feel like it's not going to be super common that you see it, so I didn't include it. Start a turn, he gets 154%. We just went over that. He gets 100% on super attack. Now, this guy, he gets a little bit complicated once we start talking about his super attack effects, because he's got, like, what is this? This is like a 4... No, I'm sorry. This is an infinite stack. But then he also gets the 50% increase per 12 key, and then, like, potentially, like, you could get 2 of these stacks up. So, the way I did this is I just kind of left it on you guys to decide how many additionals he's going to get. So, this is where he's going to be after doing one 18-key super attack. However many 12 keys you do, take this number, multiply by that, and then add it into here. So, like, if he does one 18 key and one 12 key, you're going to be sitting at about 760k defense right here, or 755, if you add these two together. And then, like, let's say you get 2 stacks, right? Then you'll be at, this is how much you're going to be getting per, like, 18 key stack without support. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to explain this super well. I'm not doing a good job. Basically, the point here, right, is that this is where you're going to be after 1 stack. If you had 2 stacks, you would add this into it, so you'd be up to, like, 671. And then, you could also take this number right here. This is just how much you're getting per stack in general. So, let me hang on, let me collect my thoughts. Okay, so on your first turn with Gogeta, right, this is where you're going to be after one 18-key stack. Every time you do a 12 key, you're going to be getting this much defense from it. And this number is just this line right here, basically divided by 2. It is essentially what that is. And the reason I'm doing this line right here, you guys know I normally do like this one right here. But this 100% on super from his passive is multiplicative with your super attack effects. So I have to include this line. Now, once we start stacking up, right, like, for instance, right, your start of turn defense is 209, 946. Once you start getting stacks, you're not actually going to be stacking 125k to your start of turn defense right here. You're only going to be doing like half of this, because this number right here is the amount that your defense will increase post 100% on super attack. So like this is like how much it would increase after this is applied. If you wanted to know how much defense you were getting before this applied, then it would just be this right here multiplied by 0.5, or I'm sorry, 0.3, because this is 30%. So like right now I have it linked to this 100% on super attack cell, because this is how much you would get after the super attack effect kicks in. But like if you wanted to know their start of turn defense after 2 stacks, you would take the, what is it? Let's see, equals like 209,946. And let's say we have 2 stacks, you would just multiply by 1.6. And so this is going to be their start of turn defense after they get like 2 stacks in, right? Or if you just wanted to know after 1 stack, like what's the start of turn defense going to be after we come back, like on their second rotation and we haven't transformed, it's going to be 272,930 is basically what we're going to see from them. So, and then once you start, factoring the super attack effects in, you have to divide out any, super attack effects that you've already calculated and then multiply the new ones back in. So, again, it gets a little bit complicated. Like, it's not super hard. It's easier once we can kind of see it and go over it in game. But just know that they're good. And then over here, the only difference is that I've added 40% support in this line. So instead of 2.54, it's 2.94 is what's going on there. So it's slightly higher numbers, but I mean, you guys can see, right? Even after one 18-key stack and then like a 12-key super attack with a little bit of support, you're at like 875k defense, and it's only going to go up from there as you get more and more additionals. So that's good. Down here, it gets a little bit easier to calculate. So again, defense number's the same, leader skill's the same, links are the same. Now we get 200% at the start of turn, so we multiply by 3. This is what their start of turn defense would be, because we're going to carry over 2 of those 18-key stacks from Super Saiyan, because those are permanent stacks. I figure 2 is all you're going to have most of the time, like at absolute max. And that would be if you kept them on rotation and transformed on like turn 5, for example. So that's what I'm considering right here. There's actually a pretty good chance that you only have 1 of these up at any given time, but still, I figured 2 was a good number to use here. So anyway, we're taking this, multiplying by 1.6. This is what we're going to see at the start of turn. We get 100% on super attack right here. And then our 18-key super attack at this point is not giving us any additional defense. So I just included the defense raise per 12 key down here. So that's what this is. You're just going to add this number in to this for every single 12 key that you do. So very quickly, this guy is going to be over like 1.2 million defense, right? So, you get 1 rainbow key sphere and he's doing 2 guaranteed additional super attacks, right? So this guy's going to be pretty crazy after he transforms. Plus he has a 70% chance to dodge. Yeah, he's gonna be very good, right? So this is a character that's gonna scale pretty well, even without dupes, because they're already super effective against all types. They already have dodge, they already have additionals, right? They already have build up crit. So like, as far as how you want to build this guy, go whatever you want. It's honestly not gonna matter if you're a JP player. You can give this. I wouldn't give him crit, but like I think crit could help out in the base form here, but just remember that as you dodge in blue, crit isn't going to help you too much, and they're already super effective against all types here. So I would probably say additional for Gogeta here is what you want to do. I think additional is the happy build. I think additional and then dodge is what you want to pump into this guy. So that is my personal recommendation. Let's go ahead and move over to Broly now. Sorry guys, this is going to be a bit of a longer video here. Here is Broly. Looking good. This guy's crazy, by the way. So he leads super bosses or transformation boost or full power, so a triple leader skill. And then he gets an additional 30% for characters who will also belong to Exploding Rage or movie bosses. Let me go ahead and build this leader skill really quickly. All right, so we've got the category here. We got super bosses, full power transformation boost. Super bosses, full power transformation boost. Additional 30% is for characters who are on Exploding Rage, which is like explosion of anger in this translation, and then movie bosses. So that's what these two are. So if we go ahead and search here, these are going to be the characters on the full 200% leader. So obviously, Fusion Zamasu being here is good. Golden Freeze is good. I think this unit is going to easy A during the celebration, so they could potentially be really good on this category. If they make them like a rainbow orb changer, that would be outstanding. Having God Goku is good because God Goku is going to work well with Broly. So that's nice. We should be able to get AGL Fusion Zamasu on this team as well. Yep, there he is. So that'll be a good partner for this guy. The coolers have kind of fallen off. Boo could potentially be good, just depending on the fight. If we get any fused fighter enemies, like if we get a Gogeta boss, like this guy potentially could be decent on this team. Harudegarn, obviously, very, very good. Truth has bad luck with him, but he's pretty solid for most people, I think. This category isn't super crazy, but I mean, again, these are just the characters on the full 200% leader skill. These Janemba units are probably going to easy A sometime this year. I could see them easy-ing like Super Janemba again during this anniversary or something too, so that could be potentially interesting. But I think there's enough here to make a good team out of it. We kind of laughed at super bosses whenever it first came out and was shown. But it paired with other categories is going to really help. I mean, having God Goku on a team is obviously very, very good. You guys know I jump at the chance to run this guy, and Fusion Zamasu's still really good. Harudegarn's good, so I think you'll be able to make a competent team just because off of like how strong Broly is. Like even this guy's pretty decent. So let's go back over here to Broly. Super attack is the gigantic impact, infinitely raises attack and raises defense by 30% for one turn. 18 key greatly raises attack, that's a stack, and then it greatly raises defense for 4 turns, so that's nice. You'll be able to carry that over for a couple turns. Passive is the intensifying power level, activates entrance animation upon entry. He gets an additional 5 key and 100% attack and defense, and performs an additional super attack for 4 turns from the first appearance. He gets 150% at the start of turn otherwise. Guard activated against all attacks. Very good. I mean, that's just permanent guard, right? So that's really good. He gets an additional 1 key in addition when collecting key spheres. Gain an additional attack plus 50% when performing a super attack. And gain an additional defense plus 50% when performing an ultra super attack. I don't think key will be an issue with this guy, but you do need to make sure that you're getting the ultra super attacks here in order to get his defensive buff. You get an additional 2 key gain additional 2 key and perform an additional super attack as the first or second attacker in the turn. That's going to be really good, obviously. And then gain an additional key plus 6 in additional super attack, and gain a high chance to perform another additional super attack as the third attacker in the turn. So if you do have to float this guy is going to, he's going to be fine, right? Active skill condition is able to be used after 5 or more turns have elapsed from first appearance. This will kind of be a long time before you're able to transform. This is going to be more along the lines of the worldwide download celebration units, but at least there's no HP condition attached to it, right? My biggest gripe with the worldwide celebration units this year is that they have the turn and HP restriction attached to it. I hate that. If make it either or, right? Like, and that's what they've done here is they've made it either or. So I'm happy with that on both characters. Turn restrictions you can play around. HP conditions are just like rolls of the dice, and I hate that. So transforms into Super Saiyan full power and activates domain different dimension space for 4 turns. Extreme class allies key plus 4. Oh, it just cuts off there. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, this is obviously very, very, very good, right? Like, Extreme Class Allies, Key plus 4. Like, this Broly team is going to be really fun. Yeah, it's going to be really good. Domain effect is Extreme Class Allies attack and defense plus 10%. And if those allies are also in the Exploding Rage or Movie Bosses category, they gain an additional attack and defense plus 10%. And then Super Class Allies and enemies take an additional 10% damage. So, one thing about this is I'm not sure like if this is going to be 20% for Broly or if it's going to be 30. I'm not sure if this stacks. Like, because sometimes if they use this or language, Exploding Rage or movie bosses, like you get double this effect. but I'm not sure. So, um, I did not include this in my calcs whenever I calced Broly. But once I find out, I mean, this is just going to be a flat 20% on top of whatever you see, right? So it's going to be good. This is going to be crazy. So, Lynx, Prodigy, Super Saiyan, Berserker, Shocking Speed, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. This guy wasn't going to have big bad bosses. That was like the biggest pipe dream in the world by the community. But um, these are the categories that he's on. Again, it should just be the same as where is he? Right here. Should be the same as this guy because they're basically the exact same card, right? So um, these are the teams that you can effectively use them on. Again, like God Goku just keeps getting better. I love it. Um, excuse me. Sorry, I had a big yawn. So after he transforms, his 12 key becomes the Awakening Tempest, raises attack and defense for 1 turn. That's a 30% raise, and then it is an AoE. 18 key is the Gigantic Catastrophe, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, mega colossal damage to the enemy. Excuse me. His passive, Intensifying Fighting Instinct, key +6 and attack and defense 300% at the start of turn. Guard activated against all attacks. Again, very good. Additional key +1 when collecting key spheres. 20% damage reduction until attacking while the domain is active. Additional 50% when attacking. Additional defense +50% when receiving an attack. I think this will work the same as Fusion Zamasu. So that'll be nice. Perform an additional super attack. All right. Gain an additional 26% chance to perform a critical hit when performing a super attack. Perform an additional super attack and gain an additional chance to perform a critical hit plus 26% when performing an ultra super attack. Perform an additional super attack when key is 24. So, yeah, this guy's going to be doing a lot of supers and a lot of crits. If you're wondering how to build this guy, I would just go either crit or dodge. Crit, dodge, additional. It really doesn't matter. Maybe like since he has crit here, maybe go additional. Does he have crit up here? I don't think he has crit up here, so giving him crit could be really good. Yeah, because he's just got like additionals up here. I would say go crit on this guy, like honestly. And then like I would say go crit additional and then just give them like 3 dodge so that they have the chance. But yeah, like this guy is going to be doing damage. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at his defense here. Again, this is excluding the domain effect, but it would just be an extra 30% or 20% on top of what he's already doing. So, yeah, like it would just be like a flat increase to whatever. Like, I mean, literally, it's just like let's say Broly gets up to 1,000,000 defense, you just slap 30% on it, 1.3 million defense, right? So, anyway, here he is. I mean, you guys can take a look at these. It's basically the same thing as Gogeta. So, here's our defense stat right here. 200% leader skill. Lynx, I did actually do Shocking Speed and Prepared for Battle because I think there's going to be a good chance that, like, you can just run him next to God Goku, right? And get both of those activated. He gets 250% for the first 4 turns. Now, there is, I think, going to be a turn sometimes where you don't actually have, like, the extra, what is it, 100%? Yeah, I think there's going to be a chance that you lose this since he doesn't transform until turn 5 and you only have this for 4 turns. I think there is actually going to be a turn where he is a little bit weak here, but I'm just ignoring that because I'm lazy. He gets 50% defense on Ultra Super Attack right here. His 18 key stat gives him 50% for 4 turns, and then he gets 30% increase per 12 key. And then you'll be able to stack up this 4 turn 18 key twice. So this is how much like extra he's going to get for that. And again, this is after we've already applied the 50% on super here. So it's basically just like half of this is what you're going to get. So yeah, like this guy's good. This guy's really good, right? Like after, 118 key, he's going to be at 670, and then every additional 12 key is going to give you an extra 130, so he's going to be at, a million defense pretty quickly, right? He's going to be at 800k, then, 930, and then like 1.6 million, right? Then same thing over here. We got the support going over on this side. Down here, after we transform, he'll be able to keep one of these stacks that you have up. He will have that for 1 turn. So remember, like, down here, like, these are all just 1 turn super attack effects. But if you have a 4 turn Greatly Raise going into his transformation, which you should have if you're keeping him on rotation, and getting super attacks with him, you'll be able to carry one of these over for the first turn into his full power form. So that's what this line is doing right here. And then basically, this is how much defense that you're getting every time you do an 18 key, and then this is how much you're doing every time you do a 12 key. So this will be like his defense after you receive an attack. This is what it'll be after you receive an attack if you have that stack up on your first turn. But regardless, like even after this goes away, this is how much defense you're getting per 18 key, and this is how much you're getting per 12 key. So you're going to go from here back up to here. Well, on your first turn, right, you're going to be here, and then you're just going to add this in. So on like his first turn, he's going to be pretty crazy. But then even after that, right, you're going to be back down to here, and then back up to here pretty quickly. So this guy's going to be good, like I said. And again, this is excluding the domain. So like you can just add like an extra 20% on top of this once the domain is active. So let me know what you guys think. Again, they're very good. I'm slightly concerned about their abilities being like locked to longer portions of the fight. But it's going to be a thing where we need to just wait and see these guys in game, and we need to see the fights that they release around these guys. If you see anybody putting out tier list on these guys before they release like the fights that these guys are actually good for, just know that those people are Neanderthals. So, and they can't think like they can't wait and have patience, right? They just got to get the tier list out for views right now, right this instant. So. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, let me know what you guys think about these guys. The calcs are up on Twitter if you want reference for these things at a later date. I know they're hard to understand, but because of like what they're doing with like, the 4-turn stack, this, like all the multiplicative buffs that they have going on. But if you have any questions, I can try to answer them in the comments below. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.